Hello everyone, welcome to my channel on data analytics. In this video, I am going to cover clustering techniques by describing their strengths and weaknesses. This video only provides the overview of the clustering algorithms that are available to us. If anyone is interested in knowing a particular clustering algorithm in detail, please click on the links that appear at the respective clustering algorithms. Given the steps involved in knowledge discovery in data, this video covers clustering technique, which is an important data analytical technique. Data analytical techniques constitute of several learning algorithms that can help us to build knowledge bases from the data. Learning algorithms are basically two types. The first category of learning algorithms are called learning from knowledge base. That is, a user will provide the knowledge base and the algorithm will use the provided knowledge base for decision making purposes. The another category of learning algorithms are learning from the data. So these algorithms are broadly classified into three types: unsupervised learning, supervised learning, and semi-supervised learning. In unsupervised learning, user will simply provide the data and request the algorithm to learn by itself. He will not provide any additional data. So, when we are talking about unsupervised learning techniques, there are only two types. The first one is pattern mining or association rule mining techniques, which try to discover patterns from the given data. This topic has already been covered in this channel. Please check the link shown above to learn about pattern mining. The second category of unsupervised learning techniques is clustering. In this video, we are going to talk about a fundamental clustering technique called K-means. A key question that comes in mind to the user is why clustering is called an unsupervised technique. The answer is very simple. In the clustering technique, the user will provide the data to the clustering algorithm and he will simply ask the algorithm to group the given data into various clusters. The algorithm by itself has to understand the data and accordingly it has to group the given data into clusters. Since user is simply providing the data and he is not providing any further information about the data, we call a clustering algorithm an unsupervised learning algorithm. Clustering is a task of grouping a set of given objects into groups of similar objects. The main objective of a clustering technique is to achieve high intra-class similarity and low inter-class similarity. High intra-class similarity means objects in a cluster must be very close or similar to one another. Low intra-class similarity means objects with across the clusters must be highly distant to one another. For example, if the data is given to a clustering algorithm, the clustering algorithm has to group the objects within the data into several clusters or groups. In each cluster, the objects must be very close to one another. This is called high intra-class similarity. Similarly, the objects across the clusters must be distinct from one another. This is called low interclass similarity. A classic application of clustering technique is grouping the students in a class based on their marks in various subjects. The basic clustering techniques are broadly classified into four types. The first class of clustering techniques are called centroid based clustering algorithms. These algorithms organize the given data into non hierarchical clusters. The strength of these algorithms is that they are very easy to implement and they are often efficient. But the weaknesses of these algorithms is that they are sensitive to initial conditions, outliers, and more importantly, centroid based algorithms can only discover clusters that are of circular shapes because of the distance function they use. A classic example of a centroid based clustering is k-means, which is very widely used in the real world applications. The second class of clustering techniques is density based clustering. These techniques use the connections of areas based on the high density of the objects to create clusters. Density based algorithms can find arbitrary shaped clusters as long as the density areas are connected. A key weakness of these algorithms is in high dimensional datasets. Generally, density based clustering techniques do not work well in high dimensional data. That is, if a dataset has too many attributes, then density based clustering algorithms may not work properly. A renowned density based clustering algorithm is DBSCAN. The another type of clustering based techniques is distribution based clustering algorithms. These algorithms implicitly assume that the data follows a certain distribution such as Gaussian distribution and use these distributions to cluster the given objects within the data into clusters. The main strength of these algorithms is that if the distribution is of a data set is known to us, then we can employ these algorithms to get better results. The weakness of these algorithms is that since real world data sets are complex and each attribute may follow different distribution, they may not work properly in certain scenarios. A classic distributed based clustering technique is called expected maximization. The final category of clustering techniques is hierarchical based clustering. So, these algorithms create hierarchy of the given data. Mostly ontology based datasets use these hierarchical clustering algorithms. This a fundamental limitation of this hierarchical clustering algorithms is to finding the stopping point. Two examples of these hierarchical clustering algorithms are agglomerative clustering algorithm and divisive clustering algorithm. Thank you very much for viewing our video. If you like our work, please press the like button, share it with your friends and subscribe to our channel for more interesting videos.